Every day in Greater West Bloomfield, work is being done to make this city even greater. That can be on the smaller scale of things or on the larger scale. And every day the township recognizes these incredible people and everything that they do. Here to tell us more is West Bloomfield Township Clerk Debbie Binder. Debbie, happy to have you with us today.
Happy to be here, Jake. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Interested in getting into this because just recently at your recent town hall meeting, you honored some people here in the community. And I want to talk about how does it feel to be honoring the things that they do in everything that people do to help this community be what it is?
You know, I think we're a very large community that sometimes it takes that little bit of extra effort to feel like a small community. And those moments where you get to honor people doing great things and keeping your community connected become, extra special. And I think that's what we witness when we bring people in and recognize them for their contributions to making our large community feel small. And we are fortunate that in West Bloomfield Township, we have so many talented and engaged residents that we can highlight. Sometimes we don't always hear about them. So I would encourage people who may know of somebody to contact us, somebody that deserves recognition. I know we have some of our recognition events. We have the, Youth Assistance Awards for recognition, and where we recognize youth in our community. And we have our Michigan Week Awards, but sometimes it's nice when they get, they come to the board and the board recognizes their contributions in the community. And that's what we did get to do the other night. And I just encourage people to be our eyes and ears on the street and let us know if they know of somebody that would be, somebody good to recognize at this level.
That's right. And it's amazing that you're doing things like this because it's making everybody feel important. And it makes us aware of people who are making such a difference here in West Bloomfield that otherwise we might not be aware of. One of those people is Helen Campbell, who's been doing a lot of work in cleaning up the community. Could you tell us a little about her?
Yep. So Helen Campbell, we watched her for a long time, and she was out there every day, almost, it seems like every day, just going for her walk and carrying a grabber with her and picking up litter and trash as she walked on her walking path. And it kind of became a mission where she didn't like seeing litter, and she spent her time in the town hall area and the neighborhood surrounding to just walk and pick up litter. And as I mentioned at the meeting, I think what was so important in that lesson is here's one person who saw a problem and said, I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to do what I can. I'm not going to wait to get a team. I'm not going to wait to get organized. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to make a difference. And we saw her all the time and said, we need to catch her. And at one of our department head meetings, I announced, if anyone sees her, please, if you can get contact information. And sure enough, our HR director the next day saw her, stopped, and he probably thought he was crazy stopping to talk to her at first. But he got contact information, and then coincidentally, the next day she was on campus as I was leaving, and we connected with her. She does, she does not do it for recognition. We had to push her to accept the recognition that we felt was so deserving. She does not do it for any kind of recognition, but she does it to help her community, and I applaud her. But I think it's a wonderful example for people. Sometimes you just have to roll up your sleeves and get involved. Don't wait for the invitation. Don't wait, for a group to organize. If you can make a difference on something positive, there's a lesson to do it. And it was as simple as incorporating those kind of behaviors and that grabber tool into her walk.
That's absolutely right. And it's great that it's people like Helen who do such what some people might think is not a huge deal for the community, but it is a huge deal. And she's doing that every day or every time that she can. And as I was saying at the top of the interview, it's not just people on the smaller scale of things, it's organizations and people on the larger scale of things. As you also honored the Tuskegee Airmen of the Macon Thomas chapter. Talk about that and their approval of proclamation.
So the Tuskegee Airmen is the Macon Thomas chapter of the Tuskegee Airmen, and they're a remarkable group of people. I actually joined the group about 8 or 9 years ago, and anybody can join the organization. There actually are not many of our original Tuskegee Airmen left, and this is a group that gets together to obviously commemorate history, But also, I think one of the things people don't realize is how much they do to help youth in our community and beyond. They have opportunities to engage the youth that they are involved with. In the one end, they're just passively a role model. They're amazing role models for our youth, but they have all sorts of specialized science, technology programming to help guide youth into that STEM, that STEM career future. So they're, again, somebody who said, I'm going to make a difference, and they have done it at every level. They've done it making a difference in the lives of adults in our community, connecting different communities together, because they are heavily in West Bloomfield, but their outreach is beyond West Bloomfield. So between bringing people together, communities together, and engaging youth, they just do a lot. It's a goal of theirs to make sure that they're there to guide that next generation. They understand the importance of history and what they've carried on from history in terms of the Tuskegee Airmen and keeping that story and history alive. And they understand the importance of making sure the next generation does. So it's an unbelievably committed group of individuals with a very clear and important mission, and I'm proud that they are heavily centered here in West Bloomfield, and that they value our community. And it's important sometimes to make sure they know that our community values them.
And I'm happy that they're getting the recognition that they absolutely deserve. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, we have West Bloomfield Township Clerk Debbie Binder joining us right now to talk about the recent recognitions here in West Bloomfield of people supporting our community, whether that be people like Helen Campbell or the Tuskegee Airmen of the Macon-Thomas chapter. And what can people do? And you talked about this just a little bit ago. What can people do if they know of someone or an organization that's doing a lot of work for the community and they want them to be honored in a way like this?
Okay, probably the best thing to do is to call my office. And I have a joke that it all works best when it goes through Gloria, and Gloria is the deputy clerk, and she is the pinnacle of organization. So I would recommend that they contact the clerk's office at 248-451-4848 and ask for Gloria, or they can ask for me if I'm available, and we'll get them on the agenda. And if you need us to contact the person, if it's somebody you see, we will work to contact the person. We enjoy it. It's a really, the meetings are obvious. The board meeting is a business meeting of the board, and as much as it's exciting, sometimes it's just not. So I think that these recognitions add a very personal layer to it, and something again that brings that concept of community to a very large. We're the 23rd largest municipality in the state of Michigan, and the 6th largest township in the state of Michigan, and the 2nd largest in the state of township in Oakland County. So we're really quite big, and this is a chance to make our community feel like a small community where people are involved and engaged.
Well, everything that the township is doing is certainly helping to bring this community together. One more quick question, Debbie, before we let you go, on a little bit of a different angle. Also with this recent township meeting, you displayed some information about this year's upcoming Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show that's going to be coming in July. Could you disclose some of that information?
Yep. So we have, I wish I had the dates right here. It's late July. I'm not looking at the exact dates, but I always know spring's on its way when we have the approvals for the Orchard Lakes Fine Arts Show, and it is coming up again this year. And Patty Narozny, who is the director of, the producer for How It Works, which puts on the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show, really has worked to expand the show to make sure that there are different artists, different mediums represented, but also different price points. Because I know at one point people thought that everything was too costly if they weren't a fine art collector. But she has worked very hard to make sure there's all different price points involved, and that there's different mediums and different type things. I think I just saw a picture you showed where there were walking sticks, and you'll have jewelry, and you have plates and cutting boards, and then there's the fine art. So she's done a great job making sure that she's expanded what it brings to the community. But I do think it is a showcase moment for West Bloomfield Township. People do come from all over to our fine art show. And, Patty has a bunch of art shows she produces down in Florida too, and she works hard at promoting and marketing our show down there as well. From Patty, what I've learned a lot about the art shows, and going with her to different ones to just see the differences. Some art shows have where or art fairs, people can buy trinkets or buy something and sell it. Everything Patty allows in her show has to be handmade and produced by the artist. So I think that makes it even more special, because you're seeing people's handiwork, not just something that they could have bought. And I also would like to mention, I'm involved every year with helping her with the youth art show, and they have a judged program for kids in the community, and the kids produce art, and the art's on display for the entire show, and then they announce winners on, I think it's 3 o'clock typically on Sunday. And after they announce the winners, the kids are so excited when they win, and it's just even to see their work on display, they get excited. And then some of them will sell their work after, because Patty tells them it's a time to learn that you can actually turn your art into a business. So you will see some of these kids, selling their art after. And as a former teacher, I just think anytime that an organization works to engage and act as a role model for youth in the community, it's so important to me, and I just know that it's important to the kids. And sometimes those little acts of recognition, make a difference in a kid's life. Even things we may not realize are big to us, or are big to them. So I just see Patty doing so much to help our youth and to give to our community, that I do get involved every year in the art show, just volunteering, and I'm happy and proud to do it, because I just think, again, Patty and her show do so much for this community.
That's absolutely right. I had such a blast attending the art show last year. Can't wait for it this year, which will be taking place on July 26th and 27th of 2025. Debbie, thank you so much for stopping by here on The Splash today.
Thanks, Jake, and I'm glad you had those days. I apologize I didn't.